My roommate has serious double standards, won't let anyone else sit on his bed, but lets me sleep in it, won't take water from anyone's hand, but snatches mine right after I've drunk from it. I thought that's just how close friends acted in the city, until someone said we look like a couple. I started avoiding him. He pinned me against a wall, bit my lip hard enough to draw blood and growled in my ear. Sean, try running from me one more time. See what happens. Chase Joe was the kind of guy who made an entrance just by existing, 6'2", jaw sharp enough to cut glass, and a germophobia so severe that his side of the dorm looked like a surgical suite. The kind of guy who'd sooner set his own bed on fire than let some random dude sit on it. That was the reputation. That was the gospel truth for everyone except me. He let me sleep in his bed. He wouldn't take a water bottle from anyone else's hand, but he'd snatch mine mid-sip without blinking, and his temper around me, it was like someone had turned the dial from hurricane all the way down to light breeze. I figured that's just how close friends worked in the city. Back home in the mountains, we didn't really do the whole best friend thing the way city people did. I assumed this was normal. Then one afternoon, my buddy Leo caught me in the hallway. Sean, he said, squinting at me like I was a math problem he couldn't solve. You and Chase are practically attached at the hip. Are you two, like, together? Together? Can two guys even be together like that? I asked, genuinely confused. Leo stared at me the way people stare at someone who just asked if the earth was flat. Pure, unfiltered disbelief. Dude, yes, obviously. How do you not know this? I shook my head. I was from a small mountain village back home. That kind of thing just didn't exist, or if it did, nobody talked about it. There was a whole lot about the city I still didn't understand. The first time I'd arrived in the city, what they called S-City, I'd stood on the sidewalk with my jaw on the floor. Buildings so tall they disappeared into the clouds. Stores on every corner selling things you'd have to drive 40 minutes out of my village to find. I'd been so busy gawking at everything that I'd walked straight into a group of guys heading out for the night. My foot landed square on someone's sneaker. One of the guys shoved me. Watch where you're going, country boy. Get down there and clean his shoe before I make you. I was already crouching down when a hand grabbed my arm and pulled me back up. It's fine. Chase's voice was flat, unbothered. He glanced at the massive duffel bag strapped to my back. You carrying all that by yourself? Where are you headed? We'll walk you. Just like that. I'd stepped on his shoe and he was offering to carry my bags. I'm good. Really, we've got nothing better to do. He was already waving his boys over, and before I could argue, they'd stripped every bag off my body and were heading toward the dorms. I stood there with empty hands and no idea what to do with myself. Chase raised an eyebrow. You gonna tell us where you're going, or are we just standing here all night? Dorm 4, I said. Room 512. They walked me to dorm 5 and started heading inside. I grabbed Chase's sleeve right in front of all his friends, who exchanged looks I didn't understand at the time. I'm in dorm 4. Chase didn't miss a beat. Dorm 4's full. Ari already told the late arrivals to move to 5. That's how Chase Joe became my roommate. I'd been terrified about living with strangers. Turns out, Chase was the kind of person who made you feel like you'd known him your whole life within 48 hours. We clicked fast. I felt lucky, but now Leo was standing in front of me telling me that two men could be in love, and suddenly I was replaying every single thing Chase had ever done for me. We're just friends, I told Leo, looking him dead in the eye. He let out a short, sharp laugh. You ever seen Chase act like that with anyone else? His germophobia disappears around you. You know how long I've known that guy? 15 years. I grew up with him. I cannot sit on his bed. I cannot. His childhood best friend. But you can sleep in it? He shook his head. I'm telling you this as someone who actually gives a damn about you. Sean, stay away from Chase. The Joe family is not a world you want to get tangled up in. I didn't have a single thing to say to that evening. I came out of the shower to find Chase had already made space for me on his bed. Same as always, I hesitated at the ladder to my bunk. He reached over and pulled me down onto the mattress without a word, settling me between his legs, and started toweling off my hair like it was the most natural thing in the world. Our other roommates didn't even look up. They were used to it, but Leo's words were still rattling around in my skull. I took a breath. Chase, I think I should start sleeping in my own bunk. The room went dead silent. The guy across from us had been on a losing streak in his game and had been cursing up a storm. He stopped midword. The only sounds left were the ceiling fan and the AC unit humming. Chase's hands went still in my hair. He turned my face toward his. His brow was furrowed, expression unreadable but serious. Where's this coming from? Did someone say something to you? I shook my head. Didn't mention Leo. It's just it doesn't feel right, and I can dry my own hair. There's a lot of stuff I can handle on my own. My voice got smaller as I talked. I looked down. Chase's expression went cold. Not the kind of cold that's just a bad mood, the kind that makes you think someone's about to end up in a hospital. I'd never seen him look at me like that. Everyone always said Chase's temper had gotten noticeably better since he started hanging around me. This version of him, I didn't recognize it. It scared me. After a long silence, I reached for my towel. He caught both my wrists. Then he finished drying my hair himself, rough, almost aggressive, and threw the towel on the desk. He pulled me down onto the bed and wrapped himself around me so tight I couldn't move. I tested it, tried to shift. He just held on tighter. Don't move. His voice was low and cold, like something frozen solid. I'm pissed right now and I don't know what I'll do. I stopped moving. I didn't sleep until almost dawn. When I woke up, it was noon. Chase's jaw was tight, and there was a fresh cut at the corner of his mouth. Come eat, he said. I washed up and followed him without a word. I wasn't about to make things worse. By afternoon, I found out who we'd fought. Leo was sitting in class with a busted nose and two black eyes, staring at me with pure venom. He probably thought I'd told Chase what he said. I hadn't, but it didn't matter. Chase had figured it out on his own, and now he was walking around radiating cold fury, which meant I was in for a rough night. Sure enough, after my shower, I stood in front of the bunk beds completely paralyzed. If I climbed up to my own bunk, would he beat my ass the way he'd beaten Leo's? But if I got into his bed after making that whole speech earlier, what was the point of any of it? I stood there toweling my hair, frozen. Chase was lying on his bed scrolling his phone, but his eyes were locked on me like a predator watching something it had already decided to catch. When Chase doesn't smile, his eyes angle slightly downward at the corners, combined with the hard lines of his face, he looks genuinely dangerous. It was barely 8 o'clock. Our roommates had already gone to sleep, though I could feel their eyes sneaking glances our way. The second my hand touched the ladder railing, Chase's gaze turned razor sharp. I quietly let go, turned around, walked to his bed. He relaxed. I climbed over him and lay down. He immediately pressed up against my back and locked his arms around me. His face nuzzled against my ear. My neck, it tickled. It made my skin buzz. I turned my head slightly to the side. He bit my ear, hard enough to sting. Don't you dare move away from me. I turned back. He seemed satisfied, started licking the earlobe he'd just bitten. Every slow drag of his tongue sent electricity down my spine. My whole body shuddered, but I didn't move away. When he finally stopped, I let out a long, shaky breath. He pressed his lips to my ear, voice rough and low. Good thing you didn't sleep up top tonight, otherwise his hand slid slowly over my waist, squeezed. He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to. The threat was clear enough that my entire body went rigid. Then he pulled his hand back, tucked the blanket around me. I didn't ask what came after otherwise, because I had a feeling the answer was something I wasn't ready for.